All right, so let's talk about deals that are in escrow. So why would we pursue a property that is currently in escrow with another buyer? Well, a few different reasons, but in my experience, one of the things that drives me completely crazy and that drives real estate agents crazy are investors who tie up a deal in escrow and they have this inspection period and they go in there and they get a made up quote or they realize that the price isn't what they need it to be at, and then they beat the seller down on price and make it a complete chaos for everyone involved. And when that experience happens, there's only a few things that can really occur. The seller can just feel like they're completely screwed, and this one buyer is indicative of everyone else that's going to come after them. So they might as well just capitulate and take the deal that's on the table, take the investor and their potentially made up bid at their word, and just try to get it over with because they're just tired of it, right? That's one potential situation. The other potential situation is that the seller decides to tell the buyer to, go fly a kite and, really take it back to the market and try to get someone that will close on the deal. And so just understanding that there's a few different dynamics here that can really play out to your advantage if you are the investor who is communicating with the agent that you're ready to pull the trigger if their current buyer doesn't perform. And so, how we can really do that we're not trying to wish the worst on the agent or their escrow, but we're really trying to, communicate that, a lot of times this happens, right? And for a lot of first-time agents dealing with investors, they don't know that that's a potential thing to happen, right? And so, kind of educating the agents in the communication that you have with them, you're interested in their property, you realize that it's an escrow, and you're just trying to figure out if the buyer's inspection period is up, or if they wrote an offer that's non-contingent, which is not the norm. And so understanding that you can get the details of the date, when are they supposed to remove their contingencies, and set your own follow-up timer on that date and just tell the agent like, hey, I'm going to follow up with you on that day. And if they don't remove their inspection period contingencies, I am interested in moving things forward and asking the seller to send them a notice to perform, so that if they're not serious and they're just going to keep wasting time, we can now then step in to the escrow and save the day essentially and close the deal. And you can even ask them too, it depends on the current severity of the urgency of their escrow, and you can ask them like, what price would we need to make this deal work? And oftentimes the agent is much more forthcoming when you're sharing with them that you're ready to go, and the other investors kind of already done a lot of the work for you and really found out what the seller's bottom line is at this point. And so you can communicate with the agent, and they'll give you the price, they'll give you the inspection time period. And I've often found that like if you explain the dynamic and let them know that if they were a serious investment company and there's nothing seriously wrong about the house, right? Foundation issues, structural issues, electrical, plumbing, those types of things that the seller and the agent know are actual issues. There's really no other main reason why an investment company who's actually a legit, decent sized company needs, a couple of days to do their inspection work, right? So if you can get your team out there the same day and you explain to the agent that there's no reason why they need a week, the other investors probably wholesaling it at that point, or they're just completely, they have no idea what they're doing. So either way, it's a bad situation for the seller. And so explaining these things to the agent, you can really impress upon them your awareness and your level of authority in this space and really your experience. If you understand what's possible and what they could experience in the future, kind of creating an impending doom in a way, you're kind of lighting a fire underneath their ass and letting them know that like this could happen. And so then that could instigate the agent and the seller to send them a notice to perform right away. There's also the dynamic that you can have the investor, you can suggest that the agent and the seller require the investor to make their money go hard within 24 to 48 hours. And that's often something that will kick a lot of investors out of escrow, because when they're not serious and the seller demands that, then they'll show their cards really quick. So all of these things you can, weave into your communications with the agent, and this can really influence you to have a ton of opportunity that is currently in the hands of someone else fall into your hands. I can't tell you how many opportunities that we've had that have fallen out of escrow, and the agents are calling me up and saying, you know what, like, you're right, you told me so, and all these things, right? And so there's so many opportunities that are currently being tied up by people that are not able to perform and not going to perform. And so, you being there and you kind of being the advocate for the seller and the agent, and having a follow-up system in place so that you can be there to follow up on their inspection period, that's going to give you so many deals. You're going to be super happy. So, really implementing the system and following up with these deals that are in escrow, it's going to be good building relationships as well. So, just realize that not every deal that's tied up in escrow is a done deal, and keep on building those relationships with every agent, no matter what the situation is. So, all right, I'll see you in the next video.